Hi friends, and welcome back with Miss Carla. Today we are going to read a Pete the Cat book called Scuba Pete. Pete the Cat, Scuba Cat. Pete the Cat is excited. He is on a boat on a beautiful day. He's about to go scuba diving. Anybody knows what scuba diving means? It means that people go underwater with a big tank on their back and they have special masks so they can see underwater. Pete puts on a mask and fins. He has a tank full of air so he can breathe underwater. He hopes to see lots of fish. If you're lucky, you might see a seahorse, said Captain Joe. A seahorse, said Pete. I can't wait. I've never seen one before. So some equipment that scuba divers use is they use the tank over here and they have to put it behind their back so they can breathe. And usually the tank comes in with a little tube and that's called a regulator, and it covers your whole mouth so it's easy for you to breathe. Like, they also wear masks so they can see, and fins so they can. Pete jumps into the water. He makes a big splash. Down, down, down he goes. Up, up, up goes the bubbles. Pete looks for a seahorse. He doesn't see a seahorse, but he did see a swordfish instead. Pete swims out of its way so it can pass. So Pete jumps inside the water and then sees the swordfish. But what is right next to Pete's leg? The seahorse. Pete waves to Stingray. It has a long, skinny tail. That's not a seahorse, thinks Pete. Pete feels a tickle on his leg. Pete sees a school of fish. They all look alike, except for one green one. It puffs up. It is a pufferfish. It is not a seahorse. So here is the stingray with its long, skinny tail. And then the tiny school of fish here, and the puffer fish goes puff, 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 puff. What could one be? Pete looks at the rocks. He sees something long and purple in the sand. What is that? It is an octopus. It has 8 legs. It is not a seahorse. Pete feels another tickle as he swims. What could it be? Pete turns, but he doesn't see anything near him. He sees a cave. Is there a seahorse inside the cave? So Pete goes around and then he still feels the tickle on his leg, but does not notice still that the seahorse is following him. But he does see an octopus instead and the cave. So he's thinking that it might be one in the cave. Pete sees a crab with claws. A seahorse doesn't have claws, Pete thinks, and the cave gets darker as Pete swims for it. He is still looking for a seahorse, and he still feels a tickle on his leg. Then Pete sees an eel. The eel is not a seahorse either. So Pete goes inside the cave and sees the crab and the eel. Pete keeps swimming farther down the dark cave. Soon it is too dark to see. How will Pete get out? Pete sees a jellyfish. It glows in the dark. Now Pete can swim his way out of the cave. He sees a striped angelfish. It is beautiful, but it's not a seahorse. Pete swims out of the cave. I wonder why it's still so dark, thinks Pete. It's because he is in the shadow of a whale. Yikes! Pete wishes he could jump on the seahorse and ride away. I think a seahorse is too small for Pete to ride away. So Pete goes over here inside the cave, and then sees the jellyfish that has the light glow, so he can find his way out. But normally, if you're going to swim inside a cave, you have to have a flashlight with you at all times, because it can get very dark in there. So on his way out, he sees the angelfish, and then as he's out of the cave, then he sees the big whale, and this is where his shadow's covering Pete. Pete hopes on a sea turtle instead. He takes him back to the boat. Sea turtles can swim fast. I didn't see a seahorse, thinks Pete. Oh well, I still had a good time. But what is this tickling on my tail? Pete turns around and sees a seahorse. What a great surprise, he thinks. So Pete rides on a sea turtle instead to help him on his way to the boat. And just as he was about to go up, he finds a tickle in his tail, and that's when Pete sees the seahorse. Pete had felt the seahorse tickling his fur when he saw the swordfish, the stingray, the pufferfish, octopus, crab, eel, jellyfish, angelfish, whale, and sea turtle. You were with me this whole time, thinks Pete. What a cool adventure. So Pete sees the sea turtle and all the other animals that he saw on his way on the ocean. And he had a fun time scuba diving. The end. That was a fun story, right, friends? What are some animals that you have seen at the beach or inside the water? Let me know. See ya.